Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Denise and I've got my stencil girl in my SketchBox, but I also got some other goodies to show you this month because I went ahead and hit the Blick with all the tariffs going into force, and I've seen so much news about all the uproar about how confusing everything's going to be, that all the postal services have stopped delivering here for the time being until it all gets clearer. And so I also feel like we're going to start seeing some shortages and stuff in art supplies, because a lot of my favorite art supplies comes from Germany and Japan and Europe, and so I feel like we're going to start seeing shortages kind of roll in. I was at the Blick and they didn't have any of the Sennelier pastel sprays, so he said they hadn't been able to get that in a couple months. And so I feel like, these are made, I think, in France, so I feel like we're starting to see that. They also were out of all of the Uhu glue sticks, and I'm like, what? You're out of all the glue sticks? Like all of them. They had like one thing of this in the very back that you couldn't even reach, that like fell behind the little bin, and the rest of it was empty. And so I went to look to see what were shortages, like what do I need that I won't be able to get, and what do I need that I don't have, and what are they already showing some shortages of. And so the Blick people said so far they're doing okay. And another favorite item of mine, I didn't buy this there, but I had it out to remind myself to talk about it, is the Kuretake Gold Mica Paste. These are out of Japan, and this is my number one fave art supply. And so I thought, oh no, I got a couple of these hidden that I ordered way back that I'll still be able to use, but I thought I'm gonna look on Amazon and see if this is even still available. So I did get some of this on Amazon this week. So if this is something you wanted to try, the Kuretake Gold Mica Paste, or it's your very favorite, I would say maybe go order one before we might not be able to get this for a while. And I do link this in my favorites page, which I'll link that favorites page down below for you in the description. Yeah, I don't want to be able to not get my fave stuff. The Gold Mica ink, definitely, get yourself one of those. I have maybe 2 backups, I think, of this that I randomly bought all at the same time. And these might dry out, but I can just add water to them. I've added water to this. It's worked just fine. And those do kind of hold up forever, because I would say I make more art than the average person. And all of these supplies I have been able to use for like ever. And so, yeah, that was exciting going to look. I did get at the Blick an extra thin. This is a masking tape instead of a painter's tape, but you know how much I like doing those grids, and I've been using the 1/2 inch painter's tape for the grid. So this is a 1/4 inch painter's tape for the grid, and I thought that might be fun to play with the grid paintings. And so I did get an even thinner tape. That's super fun. I also got, I'll show you the Blick stuff first, and then we'll get to the monthly stuff. I also got a random toolbox from Japan, and I've seen these randomly here and there and kind of was jealous of them. And so in stock at Blick, they actually had some of these toolboxes, and it's just a box, and I'm thinking it could maybe fit pencils, depending on the pencil. And I was kind of wondering, I don't think it'll fit the Neo crayons yet, so it's not going to necessarily fit that. But it's a box for something. I haven't decided what. But I wanted it because it's little colorful, tiny metal toolboxes. And the Blick that I was at had red and yellow and this pretty salmon color. And then they had one larger size, which I also liked, but these are not cheap. This might have been, I think, $30. The bigger one might have been a little more. And all they had was a gray, and I didn't want the gray. So this was super fun. A little toolbox. I don't know what I'm going to put in it yet. It's going to have some art supply that lives in there, I'm sure. Then if you just saw that recent video with metallic in the name of it, the blue one with the metallic silver in it, where I had used the iridescent gold fine translucent paint with the aqua bronze silver, trying to make a silver, and we kind of got a pretty champagne color. So I'd already had it on my mind that I wanted to go look and see did Golden have other iridescent, translucent colors that I could possibly mix some of the Schmincke metallic powders with. And I like mixing these with these little acrylic paints because they are super shiny, lovely as your metallic, and they work better than if you just use this as the watercolor that it's intended to be. It's meant to be with just water, and you mix it and it, you know, spreads like a watercolor, but then it flakes. It's weird. I don't know if it's just me, but the stuff gets flaky. So I've decided I love the powder, but I love mixing it with the acrylic paint and then using it like the paint. And so I got some other colors. I leave those sitting up so I can find them. I got the iridescent copper, which actually is not translucent, so I might just use that as a copper. I got the iridescent copper that's translucent, so we got solid and translucent. And I also got iridescent bronze that's translucent and iridescent silver that's translucent, so they do have all these other colors in addition to the one I already had, which was the gold. So now we can mix up some really lovely, super shimmery, solid, powdery ones. That'll be good. And I got a bigger gold because I like it, and I got an iridescent pearl white one, which may work or may not, but I got it. So more silver, gold, copper fun in our future. And then I got a couple paintbrushes. You know how the 1/2" oval wash is my current fun favorite little paintbrush? It's one I use here with my Masha's colors. It's the 1/2" Princeton Neptune oval wash. I don't know, for some reason I just like this little cat tongue kind of tip to it. It makes fun wonky circles, and it's fun. I decided to get a couple other sizes of that one because why not? I got the 3/4 inch and the 1 inch, and I've already used this big one on something, and the painting turned out good. It wasn't big enough to be the wonkiness that I liked. Like it was too big for the wonkiness I liked on the size paper that I was using it, but I think I still love it. I'm gonna find some good uses for those. So I did pick up 2 paintbrushes and this lovely 1 inch square wash because I like the smaller square wash that I have that came in a little set of them, the 3/4, and I thought I might like to have one bigger of that, so I got that. These little pens, those are kind of random, but that's my favorite pen to write with, in addition to mechanical pencils. So I thought, that'll be fun. And then, I didn't even know, I got these great big fat chunky graphite, Lyra graphite pieces, and I like this 6B, and this is a 2B. And they get dull. Like you use this tip down, it gets dull just like you do on a pencil. I did not know they came with a pencil sharpener. So guess who got a pencil sharpener and sharpen these back up? So if you didn't know that you could sharpen those, they do make a sharpener specifically for that. How fun is that? Totally needed that for like 2 years now. That was a fun find. Okay, so that's all the Chotsky stuff I got sitting around. Look at this Joggles. You know I love Joggles. And Barbara at Joggles emailed me about a month ago and told me that these would be coming back out. Might be a little longer than a month though, because it's been a couple weeks now that these have come out, but I had to order them after they came out, wait for them to come in so I could show them in this art haul, and now I've used a couple of them in some videos that are coming up because I had to hold on to them for this haul. I think because I've been posting those grid paintings using the itty bitty artist trading card mini stencils that I had gotten a long time ago on their site, that people were probably emailing them saying, where's this stencil? Because they're amazing. These are the ones. I only had a couple, but I loved them. The ATC seeds, and this one here that was the bumpy ride. I love the bumpy ride. So I'm sure she got enough emails and she's like, okay, who's showing this? Because then she sent me an email saying, oh, I've seen those grids. I know you like these. I'm bringing them back out. And I'm like, oh my goodness, perfect. Because, I like the great big stencils for, big art journal pages or big pieces of art. I like the medium-sized stencils for all the medium-sized art we do. We need tiny stencils for the tiny art that we do. Look at all the ones they have come out with. And I have linked this page at the top of my favorites page. So you'll find the favorites page linked in the description. But dudes, look at all the new tiny stencils. I can't even tell you how excited I am that they brought these back out and gave us new choices, and I bought a new bumpy ride just in case. And then this one, I've already used it in a video coming up. This one, I didn't put them all back in correctly yet, which is called Daggers. If you do it just right, it looks like bowling pins. That was super fun discovering that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's fun. So yeah, go in my description and hit the favorites page and find the little Joggles link at top for the little itty bitty stencils. Can you believe it? All of these amazing, this looks like necklaces, options that they have brought back out for us. And this is Punchinella, basically. You know, it's like my favorite Punchinella, like the little one. It's very close. So I love it, and I like it that these are a little more wonky rather than perfect. So yay. That's pretty exciting. I was excited when she emailed that to me. So definitely check out the tiny stencils. We have all been hoping that they come out with some of those, and she has like over like a page and a half of options. I got most of them. There's like one or two that I didn't get, but I got most of them. So yay for us. Talking about stencils, let's check out Stencil Club this month and see what we got. What is this? What do we got? What do we got? Just come out of here already. I feel like there's some smaller ones in there. Did we get them all? Yeah, we got them all. Good job. Alright, there's a piece of paper in this one. Oh, okay, cool. Look at that. Okay, look at that. It looks like nebulas. Like, I don't know if that's what that is, but that's kind of what that looks like, is little nebulas out in space. Because there's little stars here, so maybe this is a space theme. I like that. So this month is the July. Nope, this is the August. 8 of 2025. August. Forgetting what month I'm even in, but you'll see it in September, at the beginning of September, obviously. But this summer just flew by weirdly. I don't even know where it went. Like every time I turn around, all of a sudden I've got to pay taxes again. I'm just like, where did this year go? Ooh, look at the moon and the stars. Okay, that's super cool. And then, ooh, Stargazer, Dream Chaser, Celestial Floating Bodies, Shine Bright Like the Stars, Wild Child, Love the Planet, the Moon Made Me Do It, Here Comes the Sun, Sky Full of Stars, Stay Wild. Now let me tell you, here comes the sun. Tell me you didn't think that when I read that. The phases of the moon, a limit beyond the skies. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Chase the beautiful moon. Never stop looking up. Reach for all the stars and simply out of this world. Okay, that's from August 2025 by Ketron. I love that. So those will be fun. I like it when they give us smaller ones and they're not all big one-page ones. That's super fun. All right, let's see what we got into SketchBox. My mother gave me a pretty silver colored pen that was like a bar, and it had like a star hanging off of it, and it said, reach for the stars, reach for the moon, because even if you missed, you'll land in the stars. And I always loved it, and I had it pinned to a pretty leather jacket when I was younger. She probably gave that to me when I was like 18. And then I lost it forever. And then I rediscovered it on that jacket I had pinned it on. And I'm like, oh, such a beautiful little pin. It's one of my favorite little items. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. We got Schminke Coal Liquid Charcoal. Look at this. Whoa, look at that. Ooh, little liquid, so it's like watercolor charcoals. We know I like stuff like that. You know, I've made my own charcoal watercolor, just like I made my own graphite watercolor. And I discovered the graphite watercolor makes things smoky and with a slight graphite sheen to it, and I really love them. Charcoal was basically like adding black to your watercolors. It didn't really change it up in the same way that I expected like the charcoal did, but it was interesting. All right, so guess we're gonna have a charcoal watercolor paint day. Fun SketchBox sticker. Let's put our sticker, well, let's put it right there for now. All right, and we got earth tone set of pastel pencils. Oh, these pastel pencils are woodless. They're made from compressed natural pigments with gum arabic binder. Great for coloring and detail. Let's open this up because let's see what we got. I like that they're pairing with companies to get super cool branded art things because they've come up with some good stuff. Look at that. Look at that. All right, this is a win-win. I'm liking this. Let's get a tiny piece of paper here. Oh, okay. All right, we're gonna do a sampler today. I love these. These colors are gorgeous. Like for reals. You know, I'm not really a pencil pen person or a marker person, but okay, that's a good set. I think that's gonna pair good with the charcoal. All right, I'm happy about that. Good job. Good job, SketchBox. I love SketchBox. That's why I love SketchBox. They always do such a good job curating their boxes and giving us stuff that we didn't even know we wanted. All right, so we got the tri-wedge brush. That's kind of fun. That's like another little funky brush. I like that. I like funky brushes. All right, and we got the Hahnemühle. We know I love Hahnemühle. Toned watercolor paper. Ooh, that's fun. 200 GM, which is 40 pounds. Custom 4x7 pad. Brought to you by SketchBox. I love that SketchBox is working with the Hahnemühle paper to get some exclusive stuff. Unless you love it and you want bigger sheets, and then you're like, wait, I want a bigger sheet. Okay, that's fun. I'm kind of wondering, is that cold press? It's not a hot press. It's more like a textured for those charcoal pencils. Perfect tone paper to create a cohesive piece of art, but it's more like a pastel paper is what it feels like. All right, cool. Well, let's paint something. I kind of want to paint a grid, so I might save the little tiny paper for another project. I mean, we could paint like a tiny grid. I guess we could paint a tiny grid. Let's paint a tiny grid. Okay, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Okay, now that I decided, I'll go ahead and pull out. I'll go ahead. Ooh, let's do it. Let's do it. Here we go. Let's just see what we got here. All right. And I'm gonna go ahead and tape them because I want to make it a grid. Now I don't get exact with my tape and my stuff. I'm just going to tape the whole thing with this little tape since I got it out. I don't try to get it perfect. I don't try to get it exact. Everybody wants to see me tape stuff, but man, I just slap it down. And I know they think there's some great secret when they pop on and they see the grid on and they're looking at it not realizing it's not straight. I've kind of eyeballed it. And I do eyeball it with a ruler for the actual grid part. So this is 4x7, and so I'm kind of thinking, because this is the 7, I might just in half it ish. So that we got like 4. The only thing is, if I do it this way, they're tiny. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's do it, and we're gonna have little rectangles. All right, just is what it is. Kind of like the bigger grids better, but you know, we're doing what we're doing. We're just doing it. We're going for it. Okay, let's get I'm gonna get a little watercolor palette out. This is a random one I've had for a long time. All right, so we have got whatever this cherry pit black. All right, put a little that way too much, but I don't have to wash it off. I can keep using it off this palette, no big deal. This one, I must have squeezed the container, because let me tell you, that squeezed on out way more than I would have thought. All right, what do we got here? Oh, we got a yummy earth color. All right, let's see. This is liquid chalk, liquid sanguine, and cherry pit black. Ooh, those are fun, aren't they? Okay. I'm actually going to pull my favorite wonky brush because it's my favorite. I don't really need to spray it. Got too much on my table today. Let's get some water out. Let me zoom in. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Let's see what this does. We'll see if we're going to like it or not. So I'm just going to do some wonkiness here. Oh, it does feel a little bit more like a hot press. It's not textured like a cold press watercolor paper, which I'm sure is meant to make it more like a pastel matte for those pastel pencils, but it's definitely smoother than a cold press. Ooh, isn't that sanguine pretty. And I'm being kind of wonky. I want the colors to kind of do fun stuff, even if they don't granulate. I want some color variation and some differences in here. It is drying super fast on this paper. Alright, let's see what else we got. Cherry Pit Black. Okay, I did think that was going to be even darker, but it's not. It's kind of, it lightened up and it's super grainy, like maybe it didn't, whatever that pigment in there is so heavy that maybe it didn't even like to nicely mix. It stayed very grainy, which is actually pretty cool because then you're seeing the charcoal pieces, like the charcoal itself, which charcoal, you know, it's just like charcoal on your grill that you're cooking. It's literally pieces of, you know, burnt wood and charcoal. Just pieces of burnt something. Okay, so that actually is kind of cool. I'm feeling good today. It's feeling like a good... Okay, you can't hardly see this whitish color. I'm going to come back in, I think, with some more sanguine. These are kind of fun doing like tiny boxes, but next time I'll do this on the big white watercolor paper that I like so much. Alright, let's come back in with a little more of the, fill in a little more of the sanguine. I mean, we can leave some white space too, or in this case tan space, but it's kind of fun. Just kind of fill back in a tiny bit. Alright, we're going to have to let this dry, and then I think we're going to use our pastel pencils on it. So I'll be right back. Okay, these are really beautiful just like they are. They're kind of like ethereal, I don't know, landscapes or what's there, I don't know, like pretty stuff, like maybe even like nebulas like we've had in our thing. Yeah, so let's use our woodless pastel pencils on this because I'm feeling good about it. So I love the terracotta. That's pretty. Kind of feeling like maybe we're gonna do some mark making. I mean, some of these would be pretty just to leave them like they are. And you know, everybody always says, what do you do with these little grid kind of paintings? Well, I keep them and admire them and use them for inspiration because I do videos, and so they're really good for samples and examples. But I mean, other things that you could do with stuff like this is they could be gift cards, gift tags, little micro pieces of art that you include in some correspondence or your Christmas cards. They could be micro pieces that you frame up as part of a larger body of work. They could be ooh, let's do this. Oh, I'm feeling it. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, they could be business cards. This could be like your own custom business card that you did. They could be gift cards that you sell a gift card to somebody that wants to give a gift of your art to somebody, but they don't know what the person would like. So you could have them have the back of it, the gift amount, and the front of it could be, you know, a piece of the art. That's super cool. It could be your business card that you hand out. You could have, you know, beautiful little custom business cards that you've made. I love this. I love this terracotta one. Okay, this could definitely turn into be like a fave set of stuff. I like the way it marks. I like the colors that were in this little set. I almost want to do this weirdo blue, because why not? Just kind of filling like a little surprise color in there, and this could have been that surprise. You know, if you have an idea and you're thinking, oh, that's crazy, do it anyway. Like, just whatever came to your mind. Like, I just looked over and I thought, let's put this blue in there. We all know that sometimes my color wonkiness goes way out the window and we don't quite end up where we were thinking. Which is why I like using my color cubes. It keeps me on track, and it kind of alleviates some of the color anxiety that I tend to have because I like too many things. Yeah, so, but if you get inspired, you know, like we did just then, just go for it. I mean, it's just paint, it's just paper. It's not like you're saving the world, you know, or anything. It's just paint and paper. It's not a big deal. Ooh, I do love this color though. These are good mark making pieces. I like these. Let's do this brown. Okay, I'm feeling the brown. What am I feeling? Oh, let's do some wonkiness. You know, I'm just nuts because I'm sitting here talking to myself, but I do love how you guys chat with me back in the comments. So thank you. This is the perfect time to play with any favorite mark making techniques that you have, because we're testing out new supplies anyway, so it's your chance to experiment and go crazy. You know what I might do? Oh, just had the greatest idea. Because I was thinking, might not be a stencil day today, but I kind of think, what if we go ahead and put that silver powder in, say, the copper stuff and do some stenciling. Okay, that's a fave. I highly recommend. I do love the woodless pastel pencils. The colors are pretty. We got some pretty mark making. Let's see. I feel like we're going to be using, I'm going to use the one I already have because it's a duplicate and I've already been using it. We're going to use a bumpy ride. You know, well, we could use a different one. Why use the one we've always used? Let's do a different one. Let's see. Which one do I want to do? I kind of like that. Ooh, I love that one. All right, let's just see. This one I actually really liked. The mini woodcuts, that was super cool. That's a possibility. This looks like the punchinella, so we'll save that. We know what punchinella looks like. I do kind of like the dots and the dashes. This one looks like little, it looks like, you know, it looks like, it looks like the 1960s beads that were hanging in the doorways. That's what that reminds me of. I kind of like that. Okay, that could be a possibility. All right, here's my bumpy ride and my things that look like bowling pins. Okay, all right, do we want... So I kind of like that. I don't know, I'm kind of feeling, let's just do this one because I did actually really like the mini woodcuts. And what I'm going to do is take and put this out of my way since it's got wet paint on it. Let's move that right there. All right, let's take here we go, iridescent copper. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I want it to be copper. There's the copper. All right, we could test this two ways just to see, is there a difference? So I'm going to first use it without the powder in it. And this is just my ink blending brush. So we'll be able to see how this works with paint alone. I don't know, copper might be good by itself. Look at that. Look how good that looked. Let's put another one over here. All right, and then I want to add it with the silver powder because I just want to show you how I was making those metallics before. But I was just taking some of the silver powder and putting that in there. No, it's just kind of plain. No exact rhyme or reason there. Okay, that was way too much powder to paint, in case you're wondering. Look at that color difference though. Ooh, that's pretty. Alright, now I'm just gonna, that was way too much silver powder. But that's okay. That's how you learn. Alright, let's see the difference. Ooh, I'm putting that up dirty. Let's not do that. Put that up clean. Let me tell you, those little knife blocks that I put up in my studio, which I show you in the studio tour. If you hadn't seen that, go watch one of those. Best storage ever for your knives, your palette knives. It's a knife, it's just a magnetic knife block. Man, it's the best. Okay, so that made the most gorgeous shimmery copper in a different way than what we already had. Let's take a look at that. Well, we can even see it here. Like, this was more of a true copper, but this is like a lovely lighter shade, but more silvery, shimmery copper. And in our work, it made it more shiny and metallic. Do you see the extra shine that we get out of that than we got from the other? I love it. I love the extra shine. So I definitely, even though I love that, I like love that, because it gives me that same extra shine that Kuretake Gold mica paste gives me. Okay, that was it's a good test. And use less powder. I put way too much powder down. But you can use like a little bit of powder and mix it in the acrylic, and then add more and more powder. You can add to it rather than add too much and be like, oops. And it won't waste your supplies that way. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's see, is this going to tear the paper? Let's just see. The reason I test that is because it kind of helps me know. I think it might tear my paper, but it's not tearing the paper, but it helps me know if I'm gonna like love a paper or not. It's not tearing, but it is holding it extra grippy. So let's go ahead and use our heat gun just in case. I don't want to tear the paper. I like this. This was a good play day. These were super fun. Like, I definitely want to do a bigger one of this. We could use the whole piece of paper and totally, because these were like 4x7s. So we could definitely do, like, I could have done like 2 large pieces. Like, it could have been 2 big pieces like that. I should have done that. That's okay. I like doing the samplers. We got to explore and test out stuff. That's what I like about doing these. You don't use a lot of supplies and you figure out a lot of good stuff. Let's just heat all those. Alright. Yeah, it's my new favorite way to like play. Especially with color combinations, to be like, are we gonna like this or not? You know? And this was these were good. I liked everything I got. I'm actually impressed. Good job, SketchBox. Oh, look at these. Ooh, they could be mini bookmarks. This paper is definitely lighter weight than the paper that I'm normally working on, but look at how pretty those are. Ha! Good job! These were super fun. Okay, I had fun with that today. Hope you enjoyed checking out the art haul this month and testing out some of our supplies. A+ for the SketchBox on this month's supplies. I love those. I think that pencil's definitely going to be a favorite. Yay for Joggles coming back out with the little tiny stencils. I'm excited about that. And I'll see you guys next time.